So in this video, we're going to have a look at the estimate phase quote request or request for quote. I'm sure I'm going to say request for quote and quote request interchangeably. They mean 100% the same thing. We're going to have a look at what that is, how you set it up. We'll have a look at the trade supplier view, so what the recipient sees. We'll have a look at how you can help them if they need help in replying. Also, how to enter a reply on their behalf if that is required. And lucky last, how to pick a winner. So across to my account over here, quick intro point on this. If you're on a higher plan that has the jobs function, you'll have two different quote requests areas. You'll have one in the estimate and one much later in the job. This focuses solely on the estimate one. And to quickly sum up the difference between estimate phase and job phase, this one is to be done when you're initially budgeting, quoting a job. And the job phase one is much more used in cases where you have a budget set for, let's say, a concreting, and you want to revise the quote, get second quotes on it, or there's changes to the job and you need to get quotes from people for those. So this is purely the estimating budgeting phase. Now, I've added this line here already, Windows quote, subcontractor, and I'm going to click it and go new quote request. Note, you can click multiple and send it across. Personally, from chatting with people, I like just sending as few lines as possible, ideally one, because the more lines you send to the recipient, the more lines they have to fill out. I'm trying to, I guess, cover cases where we've had people send 50 lines to their plumber and the plumber just does not want any of it. So one line, quote request. It wants a title. This does not have to be long at all. So Windows, you don't need to put the address in, anything like that. Just what, one or two words, what the job is. The deadline date by default is 2 weeks. So this gives the recipient 2 weeks to get back to you and then control some reminders we send out as well. You can change it to whatever you need if you'd like to. This is what the recipient will see. So in my case, just one line. We'll go next. You can load plans, you can load takeoffs, you can load additional attachments, really anything that would be helpful. And the recipient will get this once they open the quote request. Scope of work. So I can say Windows, as per plan, etc., etc., etc. I've found that what you'll write for Windows in one job is going to be similar to another. Same for brickwork, painting, plastering, etc. So to that point, I really like having presets. So feel free to save them and reuse them, even if it covers like 80% of the text and then you just edit it per one. That's still really useful. We'll go next. I'm going to send this one to me, which is that one. Note, you can send it to as many people as you want. You can even add new suppliers and contacts into your contacts book over here from this screen. The main question we get here is, if I put 3 people on it, do they know about each other? The answer is no. They just know about their request. And if you have 3 people replying, you'll see all 3 replies side by side and then choose from them. Invite message. I generally just write thanks. Any questions, let me know. But if you've got something more lengthy, you can save presets for it. Send. And then while I'm waiting for this to come through to my email, I'm going to show you where to manage quote requests kind of during their life. So there's two areas to this. One is request for quote here. If you click on this little QR23, it'll take you into that estimate quote request section. The other one is this on the left-hand side. The difference being that this one is for all quote requests in your whole account. Personal preference, I like to go the estimate first and see them there, but they serve 100% the exact same function. So just to know that you can look at all of them or look at just the estimate specific ones. That email has just come through, but before I open it, one extra point here. If you go into here, you'll see separate requests. One mistake we've had people come up against is that they will click all the things they want to request into one quote request. So that might be paint, framing, plaster, roofing, all into one request. Definitely don't do it that way unless the person you're sending it to is going to do all those things. The much better way to do this is to have one quote request per kind of thing, per trade area. So that is to say, have separate ones for plaster, paint, framing. If you're going to have multiple requests, keep them separate, and that just allows you to send them to different people, and when you get all the replies back, you'll be able to select multiple winners for different areas. All right, quick bonus note, kind of went off on a tangent there, but bonus note, the status here will change to opened, open, submitted, pending, rejected, depending on what the recipient tells you. So if I go into this email now, this is what they see. I'm jumping in to act as the Windows supplier in this case. So it's, typically in your workflow, you're not going to go through and look at this. I'm showing you more for your context here. It'll have the name of the request, the deadline. These quote numbers in the subject are unique. So if you have a plumber doing 3 different projects for you, they'll all be identified as unique quote requests. We want them to go quote details, and it takes them to this. So they're going to see location, that's from the work location in the estimate, the deadline date, your details, the details that you typed out for them, which as a bonus point really would be very similar to what you would tell them on the phone. It's just as much detail as they're going to need to know to factor everything in for their reply. Files will be here. In my case, just one, but there might be 20, 30. They can download or view them. And then we want them to kind of give us a response on, are they interested? Yes, no, or yes, later. This kind of starts to merge a bit into the how do you help them reply, mainly just because the more you know about this process, the better if you get questions. But there is a total separate video that you can send to trade suppliers that goes through this from their perspective and tells them what to do. So yes takes them through the quote. Yes later, they'll get, if they open this and they're on site, they can use yes later, and it just pauses them here and sends them a reminder for actioning it later. No is no, not going to quote on it. And whatever they click, if we go back to my Build Exact account over here, you will see the statuses change. I just like to know when people have opened stuff, especially if they go, oh, I never saw that, and it says opened. I like to know what's going on. All right, so back to this. This is the supplier's side again. They can put in a total price, either total with tax or total without tax, and it adds the tax on top, whatever's their preference. Where I was talking about fewer lines are better, if you'd sent them 20 different lines to quote on, there would be 20 lines here. There's definitely cases where that is handy, in the case of like townhouses, if you want to break the price up per unit or per apartment. But generally speaking, keep it really simple. The replier or the recipient will generally put most of their detail in as an attachment, which I'm going to go and do now. So Build Exact, let's just go supplier quotes. I'm honestly just using any old supplier quote I've got here, and just showing you how to upload it. If they want to CC their business partner or anyone else, maybe a foreman, they can do it. If they want to add notes to say like, hey, we're super busy the next few months, we can squeeze it in because it's a small job, but please note that we're busy. Whatever, they can put it in here. They'll go submit. They will get this message, hey, your quote's submitted, you can reopen it. Super common question we get is, why do you let them reopen it? And the answer is the number of times we've had quote requests come back, and then the Build Exact user then gets a call from that person going, hey, sorry, I forgot to add whatever. We want to give them an option to fix it themselves so they can reopen and resubmit. This will be, save failed, I didn't change anything. This will lock off, so they will be able to not make any further changes once the estimate is accepted or the quote request has a winner picked. Lovely. Let's go back to my build exact again, which is that one over there. So I'll see submitted. I've got a tick box to pick the winner, which I'll do in a second. This next point is, what do you do if you, let's say they don't reply and then they call you with an answer, or they email you separate, or you see them out on the site and they just give you a piece of paper. Can you edit it? The answer is yes, you can. So you can go in and go view here as though you're looking at it, and you'll note that you can make changes to it, which I'll do just for the sake of it. If you do that, it'll pop up and go, hey, we've changed it, but do you want to notify this recipient that changes have been made? Most people go ahead and love this and treat it as a like a covering themselves type thing, where they're just confirming with the recipient the change that's been made. Try and avoid any cases where the recipient later says, no, I didn't tell you that price. Personal preference, some users don't use it. Completely up to you. All right, now let's go pick a winner. So I'm going to go chosen. And if there was multiple here, I would choose one option only. So if I'd sent this to three Windows suppliers, I can only pick one of them. That goes back to the point before, where you need to keep the Windows request separate to the plumbing request, etc. When I go chosen, it will update the price in here, and note that what it's done is it's taken the tax calculation into effect. So in my reply, I said it was $15,000 excluding tax, put the tax on top, and hence I get this. And in here, you can see it's adding the tax back in. So just to be aware, this number might be different to what the person put in, but the end figure is the same. It's just doing the tax amounts and making sure that tax is where it needs to be. Perfect. Now, hopefully that's helpful. You can, one tip I give people is, if you want to send these to yourself and test it out, absolutely do it. No issue there. The only final point, which I should have covered a little earlier, is you'll get red alerts on this left-hand side advising you when quote requests have come back. So do keep an eye on this, and this will keep a tally of all the requests. You can go view, and it takes you to the right one. You can dismiss them, and a note when you view them, that little prompt disappears. Lovely. Hope that's helpful. As always, reach out with any questions. Thank you very much.